Welcome to today's discussion where we delve into the intriguing question of why narcissists seem to be perpetually miserable. Despite their outward displays of confidence and superiority, narcissists often harbor deep-seated unhappiness and dissatisfaction. They're never happy. In this talk, we'll explore the underlying reasons behind their perpetual state of misery and how it relates to their behavior. Understanding narcissism. To comprehend why narcissists are so miserable, it is crucial to first understand the nature of narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissism is characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance, a craving for admiration. It always boils down to this acknowledgement and a lack of empathy for others. Narcissists often engage in manipulative and exploitative behaviors to maintain their inflated self-image and feed their insatiable egos. It isn't easy for narcissists to keep up that self-image because it takes a lot of work. Narcissists invest considerable effort in maintaining their grandiose self-image, but behind or beneath the facade lies a fragile and vulnerable ego. This constant need for validation and admiration creates a delicate balancing act where any perceived threat to their inflated self-esteem can provoke intense feelings of insecurity and inadequacy. At the core of narcissism is a profound fear of rejection and abandonment. Narcissists construct a carefully curated persona designed to garner attention and admiration, but any criticism or rejection can shatter this illusion of perfection, and it often does because they are so sensitive that many times what was never meant to be a slight towards them or a rejection is perceived as such. It can be something so menial like the partner not looking into their eyes when they spoke, or a boss not mentioning some minor accomplishment that they achieved. Or it can also be a friend not immediately responding to a text that they sent. These are due to emotional triggers from childhood that they've never processed because it was easier for them to develop a false self, and so once again they are angry. It becomes about blaming everyone else for their misery. It's everyone's fault for the feelings that they're left with. They are so hyper-vigilant. Everything to them is seen as a threat. The responsibility lies on everyone else to provide all of their needs, and that just isn't sustainable. So since everyone fails in their eyes, well, they're miserable. As a result, they resort to defensive mechanisms such as denial, projection, and gaslighting to protect their fragile self-image and deflect any perceived threats to their ego. And moreover, the need to maintain their self-image often comes at the expense of authentic connections with others. Narcissists view relationships as transactional and instrumental, seeking out individuals who can validate their sense of self-worth rather than fostering genuine emotional intimacy. And this shallow, superficial approach to relationships only serves to deepen their sense of loneliness and isolation. In conclusion, while narcissists may project an image of invincibility, their constant struggle to maintain their self-image takes a heavy toll on their emotional well-being. The fragile ego. At the core of narcissism lies a fragile and vulnerable ego. Despite their outward bravado, narcissists have an underlying sense of insecurity and inadequacy. They rely on external validation and admiration, like I just said, to prop up their fragile self-esteem, constantly seeking admiration from others to validate their sense of self-worth, which they seek out in various aspects of their lives, including work and relationships. In the workplace, narcissists often strive for positions of power and authority where they can receive external validation for their achievements and their superiority. They might engage in self-promotion, taking credit for others' work and exaggerating their accomplishments to garner praise and admiration from colleagues and superiors. For example, a narcissist coworker might constantly seek validation through accolades, promotions, and public recognition while undermining or belittling their peers to maintain their sense of superiority. And in this, they also deal with shame and guilt because deep down, they know that they're doing these things. They know that they aren't authentic, and it enrages them knowing that others are sincere and don't have to put on masks to appear compassionate and loving. They are extremely jealous of how natural and easy being human is to others because it's something that they don't own. So they take people's self-worth. They take credit for others' accomplishments or downplay others' accomplishments, and they know that that's wrong. So as much as they portray themselves to be the almighty, deep down they are full of self-hatred. In romantic relationships, narcissists often seek validation from their partners to affirm their sense of self-worth and deservability. They may engage in love bombing during the initial stages of the relationship, showering their partner with affection, compliments, and gifts to elicit admiration and adoration. However, once the initial excitement wears off, narcissists resort to manipulation and emotional abuse to maintain control and dominance in the relationship. They might gaslight their partner, invalidate their feelings, and withhold affection as a means of exerting power and eliciting validation. For example, a narcissistic partner might use tactics such as the silent treatment, the good old silent treatment, or stonewalling to punish their partner for not meeting their unrealistic expectations or questioning their authority. And this is exhausting for them because they have to constantly control the narrative. The fact that they sometimes fail to control their partner is a huge disappointment for them because they had this whole idea of who and what this person is supposed to be. They've created an illusion of perfection and compatibility. Narcissists often idealize their partners as a means of fulfilling their own needs for validation, admiration, and control within the relationship. And this idealization phase, it serves several purposes for the narcissist. They crave constant reassurance of their superiority and desirability, and they view their partner's adoration as affirmation of their own self-worth. So if at any given moment they aren't being shown this, they become miserable and desperate. So they'll go to battle and cause disharmony with things such as bringing the partner down in order to regain a sense of self-worth. Idealization allows narcissists to gain control over their partner by shaping their perceptions and expectations. By presenting themselves as the perfect partner, narcissists can manipulate their partner's emotions and behaviors to meet their own needs and desires. And in order to do that, well, they have to manipulate. They have to put that false mask back on, knowing deep down that they aren't that grand. And again, that's work. And as we all know, most narcissists don't want to do all that work since they want to see themselves as invincible. But unfortunately, they have to keep putting in effort one way or another. Then we have self-enhancement. Narcissists often use their partner's attributes and accomplishments to enhance their own self-image. They may brag about their partner's achievements or their social status as a way of boosting their own ego and status in the eyes of others. But again, there's this duality taking place because another part of them is envious that they aren't the ones with the accomplishments. Moreover, they have to once again hide that fact. Avoidance of intimacy and vulnerability. More effort. Idealization serves as a defense mechanism for narcissists to avoid intimacy and vulnerability in the relationship. By projecting an idealized image of their partner onto them, narcissists can maintain a sense of distance and detachment, preventing them from truly connecting on a deeper emotional level. So as much as they win on this one, as per protecting themselves, they still lose because they never get to feel real authentic love. They never get to open up and be vulnerable. They never get to share, so they're unhappy. The idealization phase, however, is often short-lived, giving way to devaluation as the relationship progresses. Once the narcissist's unrealistic expectations are not met, or their partner begins to assert their own needs and boundaries, they become critical, controlling, and emotionally abusive. This pattern of idealization followed by devaluation can be emotionally damaging for the partner, leading to confusion, self-doubt, and trauma bonding, where eventually the partner leaves or is planning on leaving. And the narcissist knows this all too well and lives in fear of abandonment or feelings of rejection. So now their self-fulfilling prophecy is affirmed that the world is this horrible place meant to harm them. So now they're miserable again. Overall, narcissists seek constant validation and admiration to bolster their fragile self-esteem and maintain their inflated sense of self-worth. When they fail to receive the validation that they crave, they resort to destructive behaviors and undermine their relationships and their professional success. Unmet emotional needs. Narcissists often experienced emotional neglect or trauma in childhood, leading to deep-seated emotional wounds and unmet needs. Instead of developing healthy coping mechanisms, they learn to mask their pain and vulnerability behind a facade of superiority and entitlement. However, no amount of external validation can fill the void left by their unmet emotional needs, leading to chronic feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. One of the primary unmet needs of narcissists is a lack of genuine self-esteem and self-worth. Narcissists often lack secure attachment bonds and genuine emotional connections with others. Early experiences of neglect or emotional invalidation may have left them feeling unloved and unworthy of genuine affection, and in other cases, such as being taught that they were the best of everything and better than anyone, has also left them with the belief that they are special, and if one day they're shown that they aren't, well, their whole world falls apart. And as a result, they seek out relationships not for emotional intimacy or mutual support, but for validation and admiration. However, these shallow and transactional relationships, they fail to fulfill their deeper emotional needs, perpetuating a cycle of emptiness and dissatisfaction. So miserable once again. And furthermore, narcissists struggle with an inability to regulate their emotions and cope with stress effectively. Instead of developing healthy coping mechanisms, they resort to maladaptive strategies such as denial, projection, and manipulation to avoid confronting their underlying emotional pain. And this avoidance only serves to deepen their sense of emotional turmoil and instability, leading to mood swings, outbursts of anger, and chronic feelings of frustration and discontent. So in conclusion, the unmet needs of narcissists stem from a lack of genuine self-esteem, secure attachment bonds, and effective coping mechanisms. And despite their relentless pursuit of validation and admiration, they continue to grapple with deep-seated insecurities and vulnerabilities that manifest in their behaviors and relationships. Dysfunctional relationship patterns. They view others as mere extensions of themselves, objectifying them for their own gratification. However, these shallow and transactional relationships, they fail to provide a genuine connection and intimacy that narcissists crave, leaving them feeling lonely and isolated. They don't really have close friendships due to their inability to be vulnerable and honest. They can't bond because they're always showing a false self. Or they can't bond with family members, for example, because they've shown their true selves to family members, always in discord. They can't get along with anybody. They're filled with hate. They hate everyone. And so they live in a world alone, never being able to form real bonds. In life, in order to survive beyond mere existence, we need our tribe. And a tribe can be defined as a group of individuals who share common interests, values, and goals, and who provide mutual support, belongingness, and identity. I mean, here's why the notion of a tribe is crucial in psychology: social connection and belongingness. Our sense of well-being and identity is deeply intertwined with our connection to others. Belonging to a tribe fulfills our need for social connection and belongingness, providing us with a sense of community, acceptance, and support. Research has shown that social isolation and loneliness can have detrimental effects on mental and physical health, highlighting the importance of tribes in promoting social integration and resilience. Tribes play a vital role in shaping our identity and self-concept. So through our interactions with others in our tribe, we develop a sense of who we are, what we value, and where we belong in the world. Our tribe provides us with social roles, norms, and expectations that influence our behavior and self-perception. And additionally, belonging to a tribe can enhance our self-esteem and self-efficacy by validating our identity and accomplishments within the group. But when it comes to the narcissist, as much as they want a tribe, they refuse to play by the rules. They don't want to do what's expected of them. Tribes serve as a source of social support and coping mechanisms during times of stress, adversity, and trauma. Members of a tribe offer emotional, instrumental, and informational support to one another, helping individuals navigate life's challenges and setbacks. Having a supportive tribe can buffer against the negative effects of stress and enhance resilience by providing resources, perspective, and solidarity. But the narcissist has none of this. So they're alone. So they're miserable. Breaking the cycle. While narcissists may appear to have it all together on the surface, their inner turmoil and misery are undeniable. Breaking free from the cycle of narcissism would require introspection, therapy, and a willingness to confront their underlying emotional wounds. Unfortunately, though, they aren't willing except for a handful of people. In conclusion, the misery of narcissists stems from their fragile ego, unmet emotional needs, and dysfunctional relationship patterns. By understanding the root causes of their unhappiness, we can cultivate empathy and compassion towards them. However, keeping in mind that this is a learned behavior and a choice that they've made to make you and everyone else miserable for their own happiness, which they never are anyway. You too have been raised with unmet needs. Does that mean that you should continue to ignore your needs to appease the narcissist because you feel compassion for this person who has none for you in return? I don't think so. We all have free will. We all have choices to make in this world. And if your choice is to be happy and live in peace and fulfill your purpose in this short time here on earth, the first thing that I would suggest to start with is to have compassion for self first and foremost, because the narcissist has none for you. So start there. And with that, I leave you with this to ponder on, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.